Hello everyone, welcome to the Boleyn Lounge, and in today's video we're going to bring you our match preview of our game against Manchester United, and I'm pleased to say Mick's here with me today. Thanks for joining me, Mick.
Good evening, Jeff. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah, and looking forward to talking about the weekend's game and what it might bring for us.
Let's hope not too much misery.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a worry in our current state, isn't it? So Man United, I mean, haven't really been particularly good for a couple of years under Ten Hag, and much like us, they feel like they're lacking a bit of identity and style of play, but they've been stuck with that for a bit longer than we have. But what he has done is he's managed to win more trophies than Arsenal in the last couple of years. So somehow they seem to get the job done, don't they?
Yeah, they do. You know, they're, you know, they're the biggest club in the world for me. I think it's very sad for English football when you don't see Man United in the mix. They've gone through a long period now since Fergie left, really, where they just can't find their way with all the big managers that they have and have had. Um, but along the way, in them years, they've still managed to pick up trophies. They've still managed to more or less be a top six side on most occasions, if not a top four side on most occasions. So it is Man United, and it will be a tough game. But I think when I look at them, and if you, I think we spoke just quickly before we came on air that Johnny Evans may be playing. I would say if Johnny Evans was if Lopetegui had bought Johnny Evans as an example, we'd never hear the end of it. So, he's 37, is he? Yeah, retired, come back, and he's the mainstay of their defence. So I think they can be got at. But going the other way, they could rip us apart the way we're defending at the moment. So the Rashford and Wan-Bissaka head to head will be interesting.
Yeah, unless he comes up against Garnacho, which will be
Or
equally as interesting, I think.
and likewise on the other side, Emerson,
Yeah.
and whichever way that goes, I think. And then the other end, I know you're going to look at the team later.
Well, perhaps what we'll do, we'll bring the teams up now, and we'll work through it and go from there.
Yeah, so you've
Just
got. Yeah, so
so
you
if we
putting
start at
both
the
up?
front, if we
Are
start
you
at the
putting
front
both?
for
Are you
them,
putting both the teams on there, or just the one, Jeff?
one at a time. I've got the what we might predict that Lopetegui might line up with, and
Yeah, even we went
I'll
with
put
what we
that up
had last
after.
weekend. We wouldn't be too far short like you are with United. But yeah, I just think Rashford, Garnacho up against them fullbacks will be massive. And then, I think Kilman's got enough about him to keep Hoyland quiet.
I like Hoyland though. What do you think of Hoyland? I mean,
I love him. I love him.
yeah.
But
I
he's a
mean,
kid
he's
still.
young,
He's a kid
strong.
still.
Yeah,
Them
he's
two.
young, he's strong, his movement's good, his touch is
Mhm.
good. His goal last weekend was just
He's,
fantastic, wasn't it?
he's a class act, and he's still
Yeah.
a kid. In football terms, with his experience, he's still a kid, really. But he's a fantastic player. And then
And
when you go back from them three, I'm not a
yeah,
fan of Bruno Fernandes. Is the most overrated player that I've ever heard people speaking about. But that's my own opinion. Stats and lots of other things will say differently, but I don't. I'm not a fan.
he
And
always
then
seems to be very influential against us, though, doesn't he?
yeah,
So
yeah. He might be against teams that are a weaker opposition like we are currently, but I think when he's in big games, I don't think he produces for Man United when he needs to, personally. And then you go behind, for me, Erison and Casemiro, they're a bit like our boys in that position. They're a little bit slow. Yeah, a little bit probably the wrong side of the line in terms of age and fitness. Um, So I think there's areas there to be worked on in that midfield. If we could boss that.
And they could possibly bring in Ugarte, might come into that team. Casemiro went off with a knock last week, but I believe he's back in training. Casemiro, he's not travelling. Obviously, Man United got to play Fenerbahce later on today, so
Yeah.
you know, who knows whether they come through that unscathed or not. So that might make a difference to their team on Saturday. But we can only sort of base it on what we
It's
think.
Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday, you're absolutely right. My
Yeah.
mistake.
Yeah, but again, that will have an effect on them because when West Ham was in Europe in recent times, we know what it's like on a Sunday after a tough European game, home or away. It's tough, And Mourinho's coming to town, and that'll
Yeah,
make it that bit more intense, won't it? So, yeah, I
I'm
think
not sure how many of these players play later on today, but until we see the team sheets and that, we won't
um,
know. But
I don't think Man United can take the chance, to be fair, of changing like from the top their best team that they've got because the rest are not great options. So no, I think he'll play as many of his first team that's available to him tonight. I know Johnny Evans is not playing tonight because he's suspended.
if we get into their back four, then Johnny Evans is another one who's but maybe suspended tonight, but he's got a knock, so I don't know if he's back or not for the weekend. If he's not, it wouldn't be unfair to presume that perhaps Martinez would move inside, maybe Dallo would come to left back, and perhaps Mazarari might come back into the side at right back, because they've got real problems at left back, haven't they? So he
Uh-huh.
might do something like that.
Yeah, whoever plays left back, hopefully on Sunday for Man United, will have a big issue with Bowen. I hope because
Yeah, let's hope so.
that's one of the areas that we need to be strong in. So.
And well, if you look at you touched on it before, their front three, even front four. I know you don't rate Fernandes so much, but like I say, he seems to be very, very influential in games against us. So even if we say the front four, they could definitely hurt us, cause us problems. But if, as you mentioned, their midfield age, mobility wise, perhaps not dissimilar to where we're at, and their back four, you'd suggest, it might be unfair to say it's makeshift, but it certainly wouldn't be their first option. And you look at that and think you could get at them, couldn't you?
Yeah, I would say that what I said about Fernandez, and not that I don't rate him. I said he's overrated. He's talked about as a world class player, and for me, he's not a world class player. That's what I'm saying about him. I'm not saying he can't play. Of course, he can play. He's playing for Man United, but he's not a world class. He's not the world class player that so many people say that he is. But yeah, you can get at the back four. De Ligt, again, if West Ham had bought him, everyone would have been over the moon. Yeah, because he's a top player. But he's struggling to settle in at United. That doesn't mean to say he's a bad player. When you think of his pedigree and the things that we talk about on a Tuesday night when people are moaning about certain players not playing well and blah blah blah, as a typical example of a foreign lad coming to live in England and also coming to live in Manchester, which is a little bit harder, and he's struggling. When he finds his feet, he'll be a superstar for them, I think, but right now he's struggling, and again, we have to take advantage of that. We've got to make him as uncomfortable as we can because, he's a very good player, but at the moment his form is not suggesting that.
So we've had a look at their team. We imagine Onana's going to be nailed on to start for them. So should we have a look at what we think perhaps?
Just on him, he is getting
Yeah.
strong, Onana, isn't he? He started off shaky. Yeah, but I think Onana is getting better each week for Man United.
He certainly pulls off good saves.
I'm a bit of a kind of secret Man United fan as well behind it all. I am. I've over the years, even before the Fergie times, I was always keeping one eye on United. They're just yeah, but I don't want to win Saturday, Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Mm,
Okay, well, let's look on and see what we think Loppy might do. And I've put up a little graphic like this. We'll go through it, see what you think.
mm.
I don't know if he'll match up like that, but the midfield's a little bit of a question mark for me. So perhaps we'll do the back line and along the front line. I think it might be easier to work out, and then we can perhaps have a little debate around the midfield, what we think Lopetegui might do. But some question marks, I think, over Areola at the moment. And do you think that Lopetegui may change him for this fixture, or do you think he's going to show faith in him and stick with him?
He won't change him. He's got. I don't see. For me, I've said for several weeks now, I like to see Fodder in goal, and you're more towards Fabianski. The only thing with Fabianski is he's just pushing 40. I'd like to see slightly more younger, agile goalie in goal. I was thinking about this the other day. The what was the lad at Tottenham, Lloris? Yeah,
Yeah,
Lloris at 40 was still keeping Areola out of the French team. It kind of tells you a little bit that you know that even though the French don't have many good goalkeepers right now, to be fair, the goalkeeper they've got is it Milan he plays for.
Magnon or something is his name,
Yeah,
is it?
I think he plays for AC Milan, is it? Yeah, again, not the greatest goalkeeper AC Milan have ever had either, but yeah, he'll play Areola because that's the status quo. But I don't think. I, for me, his kicking's poor. We spoke about this before. His kicking's poor. His domination of the ball. And actually, I read an article from Tony Cotti yesterday, and said West Ham won't improve while he's in goal. He has to be taken out. But I don't think he will take him out.
Fair enough. So, we think Lopi might stick with Areola. Back four pretty nailed on for you for Lopetegui. We've got Emerson, Kilman, Todibo, Wan-Bissaka left to right. Pretty sure he'll
Yeah,
line up like that.
I think again he feels that's his best back four, and yeah,
I think he
uh,
probably is our best back four as well. But I mean, it's all
yeah,
subjective. So
yeah.
if we say miss out the midfield, we're pretty happy that that's how we're going to line up. Shoot straight up to our front line. Um,
Just when you say you're pretty happy, that's how we're going to line up, or you're pretty happy with the lineup.
the back four, I mean.
No, I mean
I,
the middle two. These two. Well,
well, I
my
think we.
arrow is my arrow on the screen or not? Am I messing about? I can't see
No,
it.
it's my arrows on the screen, I think.
I've got mine on there as well. I didn't know if it was
All
showing on
right.
yours. So Alvarez and Rodriguez, you're happy with that?
This not what I'm trying to second guess Lopetegui here.
All right, okay. No, you just said
So
you're happy with that. Sorry, go on.
no, happy with the back four. I'm going to skip to the front line and come back to the midfield because I think that we might need to talk about that. But
Mhm.
I think it's likely. There's some debate whether he plays Soler on the left-hand side. I think he's nailed on for Somerville. Myself, Bowen stays out on the right, and Antonio through the middle. I think that's the most likely thing that Lopetegui is going to do. Would you agree with that, or have you got a different view?
We're talking about Lopetego, then
Talking about Lopetegui now, what we
yeah,
think
yeah.
Lopetegui would do.
I think that's about where he's at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So now we get back to the midfield, which I think is an area for debate. I think we've got quite a lot of options there and not necessarily lots of solutions, but we'll see. Rodriguez has been preferred to Alvarez so far, and I thought he had a pretty good game, especially first half
he had a very
against
good game
Tottenham.
in first half
Yeah,
against Spurs. He had a very that's the best. That's the best I've seen him play. That
and
first 45 minutes.
he could. This is where the Paquetá question comes in, I suppose. I think Souček plays. Uh, I think Lopetegui plays Souček.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he would find it hard to drop Rodriguez. So I think it's easier for him to drop Paquetá and bring Alvarez in there and play like that. Don't forget, if we go back to the patterns that we've seen so far of knock it along the back, then completely bypass the midfield up towards Souček or Antonio to compete for it, um, it kind of fits that pattern, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been seeing from Lopetegui in the main. I think what we do is we get 5 minutes of football that breaks out here and there randomly
Mm-hmm.
during the game.
Yeah.
Um, but there doesn't seem to be any pattern or rhyme or reason to that. I don't know if
There's
you see
no,
that, actually.
there's no real change from the way Moisey plays in terms of how we set ourselves up. I just
A
felt
bit higher up the pitch, I guess.
a little bit, and I felt in the first half we actually had some lovely sort of patterns of play, or whatever you want to call it these days. I would say good moves, but we call it different things these days. But yeah, I thought the first half when we got control of the ball, we used it really well. Um, I'm not sure about Mickey anymore. I think Mickey's an impact sub rather than the starter, but at the moment he's starting him. But it's typical West Ham, isn't it? We paid £27.5 million for a striker, probably won't play until in April or May.
Well, the thing is, I mean, we put Mickey in there. We think Lopetegui is going to play Mickey, and he has been.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, he's pretty short of options on an out-and-out number 9, isn't he? It's Mickey or Ings right now because Fulkrug's unavailable. So that is what it is. So,
Well,
yeah, go on, mate. Sorry.
would you? Well, I know we're talking about Lopetegui at the minute. Yeah, yeah. What you've got up there is wouldn't surprise me. Um, if we're going to start with Souček, Alvarez, and Rodriguez, and I don't see him playing Somerville, to be honest.
Okay, so you'd say he would play Paquetá out there
Yeah,
instead.
yeah.
Yeah, and I do think that that is a possibility as well. And the other option that he may do, he may keep Paquetá in the side and start with Rodriguez, Souček, and then play Somerville left wing.
Mm-hmm.
And as I say, I'm a little bit unsure what he will do.
With
I can't
Kudas,
imagine.
with Kudas out of the side,
Yeah,
if he doesn't play Somerville, he might as well put him in the January transfer window and get rid of him because
yeah, kind of
it's a,
makes you feel that way, doesn't
it's
it?
a
I mean,
piss take to the boy, to be honest. Because every time I've seen him play, he's given everything and he's done well. So it wouldn't surprise me he doesn't play. If I'm looking at that screen there, the one I would definitely remove would be Mickey. Yeah, and I'd be bringing Bowen into the centre or something like that and giving Somerville a run out. But that we're not Lopetegui, are we?
no, absolutely not. Okay, so we're not in too much dispute over that midfield, and I'm not really 100% sure on it. I'm just sort of having a think about it and think I would not be surprised if he lined up something like that.
There's just a lack of creation in there, isn't there?
Yeah, there definitely is. But if you're just going to bypass it, I suppose it don't matter so much.
Mm-hmm. No.
But anyway, moving on from perhaps scrambling around what Lopetegui may or may not do, let's have a look at perhaps something that we here might like to see a bit more of. Now, this is the formation I suggested against Spurs. Actually, I've made a slight adjustment to that. I had Areola in goal uh, for Spurs, but I know we already spoke, and you've said for weeks you'd want Foderingham in. So just so that we don't have to have a debate about that, and because I'm not that married to the idea of Fabianski or Areola,
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to concede that to you and put Foderingham in our in the Boleyn Lounge 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gone the same back four that I think Lopetegui would play in Emerson, Kilman, Tadibo, and Wan-Bissaka. Uh, would you agree with that, Mick? Would that be the sort of back four that you're looking for, or would you looking for some changes in there?
Well, again, you're playing Paquetá, so I mean, for me, he has
Well,
options for
this
the.
is this, if you want to change this, this is what I suggested for Spurs, but we're now making a lineup for against Manchester United. So Kudus is in this side. Kudus has to come out of this side.
Yeah, he
So
has to come
it's
out
got
on
to
the
be
side.
changed, right?
Uh,
But we'll change that as we go along. So just from the back four, anything there you'd like to
that's
change?
probably his best back four, to be fair.
Sure. We move into the midfield. Say this is the suggested lineup that I had against Spurs. Personally, I would probably move Somerville over to the left, Bowen over to the right. Kudus needs to come out.
Goodbye.
And the question mark is, do you play Paquetá or do you want to play Bowen up front and play Somerville down the left? Down the right,
Yeah,
rather.
because I'm a massive fan of Paquetá's ability. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm not a massive fan of him right now. Attitude wise, I don't think it's there. I wouldn't be bothered if I see Paquetá on playing on Sunday or not, to be honest. Yeah,
So
just because
this
I
is
don't.
our side. So we'll take him out.
Well, I'm just saying, what are your options? That's the thing, isn't it? It's what your options are. Yeah, and
Well, this
as
is
much
basically we're still going to play like a 4-4-2 type formation.
I just think that the players we got is more suited, but
So
that's
what would
only.
your two be up front then for this game?
Well, if I was looking at that, I'd probably be looking at what's left on the screen right now. I'd probably push Bowen and Somerville in there
As your front two?
as your front two. Yeah.
So who would be your
Well, that's
two
what I'm
players
saying.
into
Let,
midfield?
let's let's see what we've got left on the bench. Because if I was to really play with this team right now, then I'd push Wan-Bissaka. This is only me, of course. I push Wan-Bissaka to left back, and I bring Mavropanos in at right back, and that would allow Emerson to go onto the left side of midfield.
Well, let's make up your. So what do you want to do? You want Mavropanos
Wan-Bissaka
in,
go left back because he can play there comfortably.
right?
Yeah.
Emerson stays in the side, yeah?
Oh yeah, absolutely he does. Yeah, and then bring
Somerville's
Mavropanos.
coming up top. Do you not think this is a bit lightweight up top, Somerville, Bowen?
So it's all about the pace, Jeff. Yeah,
Okay.
and
Are you going to
we've
play
got
four
loads
four
of.
two? Are you, Mick?
Still, I'm sticking with 4-4-2, yeah. And then I'd bring Mavropanos on at right back.
Okay, that's for
He's comfortable there. Yeah.
Mavropanos plays right
There's,
back.
there's the, yeah. So you're there. What we got there? Who's
You having
missing?
Alvarez and Souček in the middle?
Yeah, you've got where's what we got? Rodriguez. Who's come out? Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So you look at the team. There's not a whole lot of You're bringing Soler in. I said on Tuesday he's doing nothing for me right now. Maybe he gets that chance. See, when you
If you
look at that
wanted
squad,
a natural white winger to go in there, you've got Guilherme, right? But do you really
yeah.
introduce the 18-year-old into this fixture? I'm not sure you
Well,
do. Yeah.
if you're Man United and you pick Garnacho and you bring Hoyland, yeah, you do because they came
Okay.
in on the team, didn't they? But that's what I'm
Fair
saying.
comment. Fair
Yeah,
comment.
yeah. Garnacho made his debut at Man United. He's 18, so why not? He's there. We spent money on him. No one else is performing. Why not throw him in?
Okay, let's throw him in. So
Yeah.
is this
But
going to be our
the only
11
thing,
then?
the only thing that I see wrong with that, if I'm being honest, is again is
It's
there's a
the
lack
middle of
of
the park.
there's a bit of lack of creativity there, and there with Sushek
Yeah.
and Alvarez in the middle.
Yeah,
If
the
you
middle
bring,
of the
if you,
park.
I think if you, but I think if you bring Paquetá back in, he doesn't work hard enough. At the moment, he's happy to sort of be there or thereabouts. If you want a workman like uh, job done and try and pinch a goal or two to win it, then that would be something like that for me. I don't know the boy. What's his name? Guilherme. I've never seen him play.
He's just got a few minutes. I haven't seen very
Yeah,
much of him.
but
Hard to judge, isn't it?
at some point he's got to make his thing. As I said, Soler is not doing it for me at the moment, and he's what's he had 5 runouts and 3 bookings in
He's
probably,
averaging a booking every 50 minutes, so it's
yeah,
arguable if he started the game whether he'd finish it or
he'd
not.
finish it, especially playing like Casemiro and them who are a little bit,
Yeah,
who know how to wind you up. Yeah, and I look at the side and I think not a great side, if I'm being honest. I think solid at the back. Yeah, I like Emerson when he goes forward. I think Emerson going forward, he gets good crosses into the box. Soucek
yeah,
can get under the end of them. Can the boy on the other side play and get crosses in? Can he get to the far post and score a goal? I don't know. But when you actually look at West Ham's squad with all the players we bought, we don't have great options that are playing well at the moment, and that's taken Paquetá out. I just feel there's a huge lack of confidence, in the way that players play and feel right now.
I have
But
to say
yeah,
I'm a little bit worried about Bowen and Somerville up front. I think it looks, like I say, a little bit lightweight. Uh, but you could change. It's a fantasy 11
do half
anyway.
an
This
hour.
is absolutely never happening in a month of Sundays, is it?
No,
So
no. But what I'm saying
we
is,
can
you
put
put
who we like in.
yeah, but you can put Mickey up there for a half hour, 40 minutes, and he's done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah. So I just think with their pace, their guile, getting Soucek in and around them, getting Emerson in and around them with a bit of strength, they're capable. None of these boys are weak, Jeff. They're just not 6'6".
Well, I'll just say to the viewers who are watching this here and have seen us stumbling through our 11, if you want to use the comments section when you're watching this, put your own 11s in. We're going to do some predictions shortly before we wrap the show up, and give us your predictions. Let us know what you think, what your formations would be. It'd be just interested to see what everyone's views are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, moving on to predictions, Mick, how do you feel about the game on Sunday? Are you looking forward to it with any confidence or
Well,
a
I
bit of
always look forward.
trepidation?
I'm a West Ham fan. I always look forward to it with confidence. Yeah, it just goes after the first few minutes normally. But
Yeah, yeah,
look, to be honest with you, I can see this being a high scoring 4-3, 5-4, 4-2 sort of a game and it can go either way. As I say, we have to be rock solid at the back. Rashford not having his best season, but it looks like there's a bit of form coming back to him. Garnacho, Hoyland are a massive threat to the back four. But
yeah, I agree.
turn
Couple
that
of
around
weeks.
the other, turn that around the other way. Whoever plays on, if he plays Somerville, plays Antonio, which we're expecting to play, Bowen, I think for the first hour will be a threat at most because Mickey can't do 90 minutes. And then it's where your problems come. So that's why I'm saying I would play that the other way around. I would bring Mickey on when the likes of the Man United back four are getting a little bit tired, and then he can put that bit of pressure on. I think Somerville and Bowen would give them the run around. Emerson, but who knows, Jeff? I just think it's going to be a big scoring game. I can't see both defences winning the battle, shall we say.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I was a little bit more confident we that we would win this game, but I must admit, I think although Manchester United are far from good, I think they've definitely picked up a little bit, look a little bit better, and I think we are at best treading water with where we are at the moment. So I'm not quite as confident as I was.
Well,
Uh,
if we done a quick comparison, Jeff, would you
yeah,
swap their goalkeeper for ours? Yes, you would.
yeah,
Yeah. Would you put DeLitt and Evans ahead of Tobido and Kilman? I say definitely not Evans, but the other one's debatable.
but you would if
Yeah.
it was Martinez, wouldn't you? Playing in his natural position.
I think if Martinez was playing against Kilman and playing with Kilman, I think, yeah, you would.
Yeah,
When you go into your midfield, creativity wise, is there anyone better than Ericsson? But again, he's not at his peak, so probably not. He's probably on the same level as Paqueta right now, sort of in and around it, but I'm not influencing the game. Casemiro, to me, again, he's a good player, but he's not the world class player. He can be got out, he can be annoyed. So would you put him in ahead of? I don't know who. Would you put him in ahead of Paqueta? Probably not. So, like, I don't look at them and think, oh, it's a frightening team front to back. I just look at the front three and think,
Yeah,
don't let them get control of this game, because if they do, them three constantly at you for the whole of the game, they're going to win. They're going to win the battle
I
because
tend to agree with that.
yeah,
I tend to agree. I think that I don't think their midfield's anything particularly special, but I think their front three on their day
they,
can
yeah,
be frighteningly good.
yeah. So do I.
And on that note, do you predict a win, lose, or a draw? Funnily enough, we don't seem to draw too much with Manchester United. There
Yeah.
usually tends to be a winner one way or the other.
That's what I say. I think it'll go. You actually want me to make a predictive score, do you?
Yeah, you got to make a prediction now, mate. Just before we go, because I know we've been on a half an hour already. So
Well, being a West Ham fan, I'm going to go for the win, obviously. Yeah. But I think it's going to be lots of goals on Sunday. So I'm going to go 4-3 West Ham. Probably end up being
okay,
0-0 when I said that, but there you go.
okay. Well, I'll go for the win because I predicted us to lose last week with a heavy heart, but I let my head rule my heart. So I'm not going to predict us to lose 2 weeks in a row, even though we may. And I'll say that we'll win 2-1.
Uh-huh.
It's not as many goals as you, but I think both teams will score. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but I guess if you're about on Tuesday, we'll
Yes, I hope
analyse
to
all
be.
this on Tuesday, have a chat about it.
Yeah, God willing, I will be.
No problem. And unless you've got anything to add to that, I'll wrap the recording up around about here. Anything you want to add, Mick?
No, no, I'm good, mate.
Okay, cool. So all I'll just say before we go is, like I say, thanks for everyone for watching. Please give us a like on the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please give us a subscribe, and use the comment section. Let us know your teams and your formations and predictions. And hopefully you will join us on Tuesday. And until then, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you.